Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like a thimble of water in a radio desert, we're the audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, next to the guy who washes his truck to impress his grandma. It's Dick. I draw the line at dogfighting. Schisler.
That's true.
What's up, buddy?
I mean, dogfighting's a no-no, but cockfighting,
I know.
all about it.
I know. It's because you don't eat dogs.
That's my reason.
So, yes, if you do not eat a certain animal, you'll watch it fight.
It's cool to fight. I love it.
Okay. All right. I see how it is.
Yeah.
I like your hat, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, can you explain to the viewing audience what you're wearing on top of your
It's
head?
a Corpus Christi Hooks hat.
Yeah, I have to admit, I like that
I
hat.
finally got one. So
Fine. It's been a lifelong dream, huh?
Well, I never wanted to buy one online because I didn't know what size I was. I never
Right.
bought a fitted hat, and then finally went to Minute Maid, and I knew the affiliate, they should have
Sure.
a Corpus Christi Hooks hat at the Minute Maid.
So, bucket list number 1, cockfighting. Number 2, getting a Corpus Christi. You know, 1 out of 2 ain't
Yeah.
bad.
No, I still got a lot of life to live.
Right.
A lot of people to meet. So if anyone knows, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com where a cockfight is, that'd be great. Let us know if there's any code words or anything we need to know.
Yeah, I think you've found one. You just aren't.
No, I found a guy.
You
from
found a
last
guy. You
episode,
got a guy.
I found a guy who
Yeah.
participates in it. He doesn't run it. So
Okay.
He didn't,
All right.
He didn't know.
Okay, you need the guy behind the guy.
Yeah, they're beautiful animals, though.
Right. So how was your weekend, man?
It was great. Saw the baseball game. Saw the Rangers get crushed, which is always a happy.
Yeah, I know.
thing
That's
for
it's
me.
happy for you. Yes.
And especially after, I was going to call you right afterwards.
It's okay.
And did you see the game? Did you see you guys lose?
I can bask in the glory for an entire year. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, actually, that was one of the most annoying things. Were the Rangers fans?
Yes.
Because there was
The
like
opposing team's fans are usually the most annoying.
Like there was legit a guy,
Regardless.
a guy walking around I guess around the park with looked like a wrestling belt,
Okay.
and he had one of those
Perfectly normal. Go ahead.
He had
Continue.
one of those voices that he'd announce, and he was announcing the champions, but he just kept doing it. I saw him twice.
Oh my god! Did he have a Lucha Libre mask on too?
No,
That would
but
have
he had
been really awesome.
he had a Rangers uniform, and I was like, "Is this what this guy paid money to do? Is to come to the Minute Maid Park and
Surprised
just start
he
yelling?"
didn't get his bait. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, because now it's the biggest rivalry in baseball, supposedly.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then one thing also I learned is I went to my niece's birthday party, and
You go to so many birthday parties.
well, it's because I have 16 nieces and nephews.
So many birthday parties.
And I care about my family.
Mm-hmm.
But what I learned was if you have a bounce house behind your house and
Mm-hmm.
your house backs up to a lake and there's a walkway, all these people kept coming over with their kids, even though they weren't invited. They were just neighbors.
Of course.
And it's like, hey, can my kids play on the jump house? My brother finally was just like, just leave the gate open, put the dog up. Like if they're coming in, there's so many people. It was a beautiful day, so many people were out walking around.
Yeah, I'd be concerned about liability, man.
I mean, welcome to the neighborhood, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. I had something happen to me this weekend I think most everybody can identify with. And I was going to a gas station to get gas, as one might do when they're there, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And I put my card in, and I think they need to standardize these things because sometimes you put your card in and it says immediately remove it, and then it will verify. Sometimes it says leave your card in, and it will authorize or whatever. Well, this time I put the card in and just reflexively pulled it out, and it said, error. I was like, oh, man, I was supposed to leave it in. And instead of it just resetting, it gave me that one sentence I never like to see.
Declined.
Please see cashier.
Oh, you're talking about from the gas, okay,
Right.
gas pump, yeah.
You know what the one thing is that I will do when I see that sign? Not see the cashier. I'm never going to go in and see the cashier. I will go to another pump. In fact, I will go to every single pump at that place before I go inside and see a
That's
cashier.
terrible. I don't have that problem.
I might actually go to another gas station before I walk inside and see the cashier. And it was bad because it was practically my fault too, which was really annoying. I did this to myself. Now
I
have to
always
stand
go in
there.
and pay.
No, and that's the reason why I don't go in, because they ask you, yes, sir, how much do you want? I don't know.
You don't know how much money it takes to fill up your car?
No. It's always different too.
Yeah.
That's like a magic superpower. You know how much?
Yeah. Even on
My
this new truck.
God.
And plus, I have a budget, so I know how much money I can spend too.
God.
But I also get dip, and I get other things too. So it's like
Never cease to amaze
that's
me,
why I go
man.
inside. That's actually what I get my dip is when I get gas every single time. So that's why I haven't paid at the pump. I don't know how long. Probably like 5 years.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we got a pretty special show this time.
I'm kind of excited about it because
Yeah.
I have no idea who this guy is.
We have a guest. And I thought it would be our first guest of the year, but we actually had Petty Eddie
Yeah,
in,
Petty Eddie came in.
January. So this is technically our second guest of the year, but we are welcoming Patty O Furniture to the Audience of One show. Patty, welcome to the show.
Hey guys.
So I got to ask, man, first right out of the gates here, is it the formal O Furniture, or are we just going to go with Patty?
Patty's great.
All right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Patty O Furniture. I have to admit, that is a fantastic
I
name.
want to let the listeners know in the description I put links to everything Patty does. So
Did you have enough space?
yeah,
Okay, good.
I did. And he does a lot. And one thing how we found him from what Andrew told me was you like to comment on the internet, which means you're my favorite person of all time because one of my favorite pastimes is reading internet comments.
I have dialed it back about 90% from the last
Really?
few years. Yeah, I used
Really?
to be real bad.
Now, was it like a political thing or was it more just like the world's stupid? I'm going to let everyone know how stupid you are.
It's one of those things that just became a huge time suck. You know,
Oh, really?
you see something dumb, you comment about how dumb it is, and then all of a sudden you got 40 people just
You're
replying,
dumb.
messaging, and going, no, this is why, and they're just coming up with all kinds of crazy scenarios that's, never going to happen in the real world. And now you got to argue with all of them. And
Has anyone ever won an internet argument? I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Really? I've yet to see one.
how do you rate that? Do you,
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, see, like what I love is when you, especially like local stuff, people post like an article and then you have 15 people arguing about it. But within those 15, the right answer's there. So I let people do the research for me because people are motivated to prove other people wrong.
that is nice.
And so I'm like, okay, finally I can actually understand what's happening because the article didn't help at all. Or if it's from the Courier, it's like always blocked. I'm like, all right, don't post this stuff. I can't read this. But yeah, that's what I like about internet comedy because if you go through it, you actually find the voice of reason. It's like, actually, this is fake news. Here's like the direct whatever.
Well, the real reason that I found him on the internet was all the amazing
His
skills
pictures?
that he has in terms of furniture making and things like this, which I think is pretty fascinating. I know you have a lot of businesses we'll let you
Oh.
talk about, but yeah, it's
Because
not just.
if people didn't
the
know,
witty
Andrew
banter.
found OnlyFans like 4 weeks ago.
I found his OnlyFans. That's
so he
exactly
found his
right.
OnlyFans.
That's
Okay,
exactly
so Patty,
Wait, what?
I'm just
I
making,
thought I had it marked to private. No,
Yeah.
we're kidding. No. But anyways, tell us a little bit about what you do, man.
yeah.
Oh man, where do I start?
Your favorites. I'm mostly interested in the furniture making, but I know the home inspection business is also something that you do as well.
The furniture making's great. I love doing that. The problem is that I make no money at all, and I can charge exorbitant amounts left and right. Bottom line is, I am slow. I am way too slow, and I'm a perfectionist. So I made a king size bed frame for somebody a couple of years back, and I think I charged like $2,500, which sounds like a lot of money, but I spent 3 months making it.
Correct.
So, yeah. And then I eventually stumbled into the whole home inspection thing, and that's been really good for me.
Is that it? Is that the bed?
That is indeed the bed.
All right, I want to show the audience. that.
Nice.
They sent me a picture of a bed and said, "Can you make this?" And so I did.
Well,
Yeah.
do you think it's something where because your skill has to have a value, but then it's like, hey, because I actually knew a furniture guy who built custom furniture, and he charged like $10,000 for a bed
Yeah,
frame.
and that's what I should have been charging.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for like 40 years, so he's figured out how to,
Yeah.
how to price things
Yeah.
and time, and because I would love you to tell me it takes you 3 months to make my bed because that means you took time making the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the stuff you're going to get at a big box store. This is heirloom type pieces, things that will last probably multiple generations in a lot of cases.
Wow, that's some nice stuff.
Man, who makes all of that?
I don't know.
No, I'm very impressed by your work. I do have a neighbor of mine that makes furniture as well, and he says basically the same thing. He says, if I charged my time, what it's worth, and the materials for it, no one would ever buy it because it would be so expensive.
Very
And that's
true.
sad.
Very true.
That's sad. So I know the plight that you're dealing with, but have you ever been asked to make something like really strange, like, I don't know, like a swing for the bedroom or something like that?
Oh yeah, I get that a lot.
Yes.
And then when they find out that it's $5,000, they're like, okay, well, I'll let you know. Okay, I'll never hear from you again. Thanks.
You made a face like you were surprised by that question.
Why would
Nick.
you have a wooden swing?
And for the red room, for somebody who wants to keep it rustic.
Well, I can see him get like a what do you call the thing where they throw tomatoes at you?
What?
Like if you're trying to get kinky.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What-
You'll never get those stains out of the walls. What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about though? Back in the day where you get in trouble, they punish you by like locking you up in that wooden deal with your head
pillory.
and arm. Yeah, pillory. See?
Yeah, I've made one of those.
See, like he knows. See, I know what's going on. I know what the world needs.
But that was for me. That wasn't for a client.
yeah, well built. Took a long. Did you?
It's quite sturdy.
When you're shaping it, you're like, I can't wait to get in this.
Actually, that was probably one of the easiest things I ever made. 'cause
Really?
I had these massive skids from a pallet, and they're all this oversized lumber, like 4x6 and actual 2-inch by 4-inch. So I just cut some holes out and threw a hasp on one side and a hinge on
That's
the other.
great. It just came together.
And my girlfriend gave me some good feedback on it.
right.
good.
Well, we had to test it out.
Yeah.
Well, what I like, it sounds like if they want to order something from you, you're not going to say immediately no if it's a new idea.
I definitely will do it. You just got to have the money.
Want to have the money.
That's right.
And then you also
Absolutely.
do home inspections. So
Yes.
I'll put a link to that too.
Awesome.
And what's the name of the company?
LSC Home Inspection.
Okay. So, and when you inspect homes, is that something more of there's an actual official way to do it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like it's required by the state and all that kind of crap?
Yeah, the Texas Real Estate Commission basically has all inspectors by the short and curlies.
Really?
It is very heavily regulated.
Is that because that kind of determines the price?
Well, no, since 2008, things have really changed.
Well, it's a couple of things. The big thing is that you're going into these people's homes when they're not there,
Yeah.
and you're in there for hours by yourself. So there's a level of trust. You know?
Yeah.
So you have to clear a very high bar just to become a home inspector.
I get that.
And then you also have to be able to find all these things that could be wrong with the house that if you don't find it, there's a huge liability.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That, there
So
could
who
be
hires
You
you
didn't
then?
tell me about this,
Yeah.
XYZ. Yeah.
So who hires you?
It's usually going to be the buyer.
The buyer hires you.
Correct.
And anymore, correct me if I'm wrong, Patty, it used to be, I'm a realtor, I've got an inspector, here, use this guy, and that really led to a lot of maybe incorrect home values, thusly some...
There is some of that.
Yeah.
But
But the thing is, I think that's not allowed anymore.
I like to think that it's not that common just because I like to feel like I belong to a particular group of people that's, not going to be doing favors for the realtors, and screwing over
Those
the
realtors
customers.
Well, especially if there's liability for doing something
Grimy
incorrect.
people, man. Grimy
Use your
liability.
name and, on the
Huge
line.
liability. In fact, it's funny because we have a fund that we have to pay into as inspectors that if something goes wrong and, we go to court over it and the inspector's found liable, any amount not covered by your insurance, Texas Real Estate Commission will pay with that fund to the client. And even though we paid into it, our license will be suspended until we reimburse that money.
So they're
it's a
just covering you.
lose-lose.
They're covering you up front, but wow.
Well, they're not
Yeah.
technically covering. That's you're putting money into it.
They're like, we got you for now, but you can't work until you pay this $15,000 back or whatever it ends up being. And that's, it's
Significant.
It's enough for me to not want to screw up my job.
Right.
I like it. Do you ever find anything creepy and stuff?
Not
Like dead cats in the
no,
ceiling or something?
Well, I have come across a dead bird in the range hood exhaust fan.
yeah.
Oh, and you have no idea how long it's been there.
It had been in there for so long that, and I'm trying not to get too graphic here.
Do it.
The fan didn't want to start for a little while because things were congealed
Yeah.
and there was a definite smell. And then eventually the fan started going and you just heard that.
How did these people not know? I mean, that's where they cook their
let's-
food, too.
Let's be real though. I mean, I imagine homeowners or whoever, like, there's some people, like, who I was listening to. I forgot what it was. Like a buddy of mine was talking about. They want to rent from now on because they don't want to take care of the house. Mm-hmm. And I was like, really? Is it that hard to take care of your house? Like, I grew up in a house where we took care, like, you kind of did as many jobs as you could, but then you hire people. But this guy's like, no, I'm done. I'm going to rent, so it's not my problem. So if there's a dead bird up there, I'm not dealing with it. I can just call somebody and say, fix this fan.
That's crazy to me, just because the amount of money you spend paying someone else's mortgage, you know, because you're throwing all that money away every month. And then there's great reasons to rent versus buy. Everybody's got them. But you could pay somebody to take care of the house for you for that same amount, and then you can sell the house whenever you want to move and get most of your money back.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's what's kind of interesting with your job is like you run into these houses that either been taken care of or not taken care of, and there's all these little things that could have gone wrong, especially here in this area with weather. That's kind of the thing that you don't really even know.
I've actually done 2 inspections of the same house. It was the same floor plan, same year, in 2 different parts of town, and one of them they had done absolutely no maintenance on, and that was about a 5-hour inspection because I had to write up everything. And then later on in the year, I did another one. It was I want to say it was an HPD police officer. The house was just immaculate, and I mean, we're talking minimal things for me to find wrong. I always find stuff wrong, but it was just a night and day difference, you know. And it's crazy how it's the same house from the same year, and one person took care of it, another person didn't, and that one house probably had at least $40,000 worth of deficiencies.
Oh my goodness!
And that client ended up walking. I think that's the only one I've had that walked on the deal.
I'm curious, why can't we make a roof that can withstand some hail? I don't get it. I guess I know we make composite roofs because it's inexpensive, relatively speaking, compared to like metal or something like that. But I swear it doesn't take anything over the size of like a quarter. It's like, gotta get a new roof.
Man, you know,
what the heck?
This is a great time to mention that I work for a roofing company also. What do you know?
Well, okay, I didn't put that in there.
Maybe we will.
Yeah, it's ran by a friend of mine. He actually does really, really good work. It's one of those things where I didn't really advertise them until I got to see a couple of the roofs that they put together.
Sure.
And I kind of did my own little, I'm a home inspector, so I'm going to see, you know, how good of a job these guys do, because I always find something. And I walked them, and I was blown away that they, not only did I not find some of the stuff that I always find, but they got the insurance company to cover some code upgrades, which is unusual. Usually the insurance company will say, you know, however it was, that's how it goes back. We're not paying to have it done the right way. We're having it paid to do what was there before. And Nick with Tag Roofing and Restoration, he is the insurance whisperer.
There you go.
I see him get approvals on houses that I never thought in a million years that roof would get approved for. He does a really good job, and the work they do is awesome.
Well, there you go.
I like working for them because they do really good work.
So were you one of these guys as a child? Were you into like shop class? Is that how you got your start? Because it always seemed to me like the kids in shop class, they were really a little weird. Were you a shop class guy?
I did do the small engine repair class in high school.
Oh, those are even worse.
Yeah, we were pretty terrible.
Those are the ones you always. Those kids had Marlboro Reds. Those are the guys that always smoked the full filter or no filter, full flavor cigarettes.
Yeah, we spent most of our time melting stuff in the shop and never really doing any actual
That sounds
work.
like fun.
Actually, it is a lot of fun.
It was great.
I'm teasing. They smoked Marlboro Lights.
I think we had Cools.
Okay, there you go. See, I knew it was in there somewhere.
We're diverse.
Yeah, I love
Is
it.
shop class even a thing anymore? I know
No.
auto mechanics is. Do they do shop
No,
class?
I don't think they do. I think they have like FAA programs up here
Sure.
where they can do trailer building, and it's like considered a shop class, but
That's a shame.
it's
So you
not.
knew from an early age, though, that you were probably more hands-on and wanted to do this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think when I was probably 14 or 15, I took a whole bunch of 2x4s at my mom's house and built a stair structure behind the garage so that she could get up on top of the roof without having to use a ladder.
Nice.
And I think she never used it.
But my son built it. It's beautiful.
Right. Just hang it on the fridge, Mom.
Maybe there's another use for it, and she's never told you what the real use
Ah, come on.
Put it on the fridge next to the movie phone sticker,
is.
right?
I love it. But that's cool, man. And then like when Andrew was telling me you're active online and you're a good follow. Is that fair to say?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a great follow on social. For sure, man. You wouldn't be sitting here in the studio with us on this goofy show if you weren't.
Okay, good. Because I am very socially unaware. I have no idea if I'm interesting or not.
I find you interesting.
Well, I mean, that's why I love Conroe, because like I was convinced for a while they're all fake. And so when he said, he goes, "Hey, I got a guy I found from I Love Conroe," I was like, "Oh, they're real? They're real people?" I had no idea.
They walk among us.
right.
I mean, there's a lot of people on that thing. It's pretty good. I love the ones that are asking for money all the time.
There's always somebody who need a
Oh,
cash
that's
for
me.
something.
I'm always asking for
At
money.
least you're offering a service in exchange. These people are just asking for cash.
Yeah.
You know when it starts off with, "I hate to do this,"
Right.
you always know what's coming next is either they need cash or they're trying to rehome an animal of some sort.
Oh man, don't get me started on the animal one.
God. Yeah, they're terrible.
Every
terrible.
day.
Terrible.
Well, yeah, just take them to the SPCA. They'll take care of the animal.
Yeah, they'll
about,
take care
for
of
about
it.
a week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're still going for that world record.
and then they'll take care of them.
Was there anything else you want to share about the many businesses you do?
Well, the
In
current
particular?
one that's booming right now is the handyman business. That's the one I've been
Yeah?
doing the most wacky ads with. That has currently got me on ice, and I Love Conroe.
Now, wait a minute.
Are you
So
not allowed to advertise or something?
You are. You just can't be really funny.
Yeah.
well, I think the fact that there are no more shop classes is probably the reason why handymen are in such big demand, if you think about it.
You ever
Nobody
watch
knows
South
how to do
Park?
anything.
Yeah. That was a great episode.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen that
I
particular
appreciate
episode.
that
It's
episode
great.
a lot.
It's
Is that a
great.
good one? Okay.
Yeah.
They all end up driving Escalades and are like, "Yeah,
All-
we'll be there." And
the handyman become the upper class, and then everybody else is begging for their help all the time. It's great.
It's awesome.
yeah, it's a really good episode. But no, I mean, a lot of respect for that too, because it is something like I grew up in a house that you had to learn how to fix things,
Yep.
and then there's certain things that you don't fix, like the AC unit. You don't try to fix that. That's not your job.
Yeah.
And then what's great was one of my older brothers on the side became a certified electrician, just for fun. And
That's
it's-
a good occupation. To
So
have.
he just because he worked in the business world,
Yeah.
like he was like a tax assessor or something like that. So he's like, I just want, I'm into it. So I was like, I'm not doing that, Dad. I don't need any other certifications. I don't want to be your electrician. Because
That's-
your parents always end up asking you for everything, right?
Well, my mom lives in Indiana, so
Well,
I
never mind.
I got out of that one.
Almost stepped into a bear trap there, did you? I thought the next words were going to come out of your mouth. Well, she's no longer with us. And you're like, oh.
No,
She fell down some stairs.
Yeah.
that I built.
that's just my dad.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But okay, Andrew, I know you have a show for us.
Yeah, man, let's go ahead and kick this show off the right way with our show music. And we're going to have a guest host for this. Patty, have you heard of this new bill in Arizona that just went through, I think, or it's about to go through? This is a law that may soon give residents a unique way of extending their stay on Earth by transforming themselves into soil to fertilize plants in their own backyard. This is House Bill 2081, which has been dubbed Grandpa in the Garden Bill.
Wait, so
Which seeks to
is it illegal to do
which
that?
seeks to legalize human composting and allow Arizonans to turn themselves into dirt after death.
Can we volunteer people for this?
Yeah. Well, I don't understand. So it's illegal to bury somebody without like
Well, this is an alternative to burying. This is actually turning them into compost.
I thought you could already do that.
In compost?
Like Fargo style, like through the wood chipper?
Well, no, I'm pretty sure you can do fertilizer because there's always that thing where it's like, oh, the tree that grows is because of the spirit of your grandfather.
Yeah, I
'cause
don't
you
think you're allowed to
fertilized.
bury somebody unless you own your own property of a certain size. I don't think you can bury bodies there, dude.
Oh no, it's a process. Like you pay a service, kind of like getting it burned.
Yeah, well, this one says bodies are placed in containers and filled with a microbe-rich natural refuse like mulch, wood chips, and wildflowers, and they remain there for about 45 days while breaking down into soil. I'm like, it only takes 45 days to break down the soil. And we've talked about compost before. You mean you got to go out there and turn that thing? Imagine the stench from Grandpa.
I like it. I like the idea of being able to tell people, yeah, my grandfather's right there.
But are they are they whole? Are they churned up? What?
Well,
how
I'm
do you-
assuming by the time you get it, it's just dirt, right? I'm sure there's
so
some other.
this is offsite. This
This is
isn't
offsite. Yeah, you
Okay.
send the body out. You
Yeah,
send
that's what I'm
Grandpa
telling
out
you.
to a site. Yeah.
I mean, you can shoot people out of a cannon. You know that, right?
And then into the compost heap.
Well, you can do like crazy stuff with bodies.
Yeah, there's the body farm here in town.
Well, that's you donate that. But I'm just saying, like, if my grandfather dies, I can literally turn him into a cannonball, and I can shoot him
Hell yeah.
because it's just carbon.
great.
It's just compressed carbon, guys.
Well, this is weird because it's in Arizona, and my thought is
Nothing grows there.
nothing grows there anyways. Is there a lot of dirt, maybe in certain areas, and it's so dry? Doesn't compost require like some moisture
What I
and stuff
feel
to
weird
to make
about
it
is the one
composty?
guy who came up with this bill is like has their dead grandfather waiting to get this bill passed.
Yeah, who's
So
the
he-
first
so
guy who
he-
goes, "I got an idea"?
And it's like, we got him in the freezer. We only got so long until we could turn him in comp. We got to get this bill going through, you guys.
Well, here's the odd thing though. It says most bodies only yield about 1 cubic yard of soil, which is 3 feet long by 3 feet high and 3 feet wide, according to the human composting company Earth. It's the name
Good
of the
name.
company,
Good
Earth.
name.
Yeah, kind of lame, man. I'd come up with something better than Earth.
Okay.
Soil survivors, something.
What do you want to happen to your body?
Oh, definitely cremated.
Cremated?
Yep. I'm going to make my own urn, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Because I don't trust anybody else to do it right.
That's true. Okay. Does it have a trap door?
I don't
want to
be like in there like, "God, look at the joints in this thing. It's terrible. So many gaps.
What about you, Andrew?
I think I'm going for that cannon thing. I hadn't considered it until about 2 minutes ago when you
Do
mentioned
you
it.
want me to look it up? I'm pretty sure it's real.
But okay, but the
Where do you
cannon thing is
land?
cool, but you're already dead. So really, the entertainment is for everyone else around you at that
Yeah.
point.
Is there like a net you have to clear?
Right, right. Oh, that reminds me.
bullseye?
I heard this story of this guy who died while attempting to ski jump over a highway. I think it was like Highway 40 something in Colorado. It didn't go well. But what I don't understand is, aren't there tons of ski slopes and jumps and things this guy could have done this? Why the heck did he decide to do it over an interstate?
Sounds like you should have at least tried those first. Get an idea of what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. Let's test this out a little bit.
See what kind of ground speed you need to clear this highway first.
Turned out terribly. But yeah, I just heard that story last week, I think. It's a perfect audience of one show.
I'm looking this up now.
Okay, yeah, but I'm wondering what you land into. We did a whole segment on Viking burials a couple
'cause
weeks
they're-
ago. It was pretty weird. Got kind of wild. Well, it says currently human composting is already legal in 7 states across the country, including California, Colorado, Nevada, New York, Oregon, and Washington. So
Shocker.
not here currently in the great state of Texas, but hopefully someday.
Because our land's already fertile.
That's right. By God, it's God's country. We don't need no dead people in the ground. Sorry, that was stupid. Come on, give me a price on this,
you
man.
You can go to space.
No, that's lame.
That's pretty crazy.
How far are you shot
Do
out
they
of this
just
cannon?
shoot you?
Yeah,
through-
like it's like a annual thing where they like take all the bodies, and then when they go up there for 1 year, they just release all the bodies that paid for it.
1 year? How do they get them back?
They don't. They spread your dust into the stars.
Oh, dust. I was
Yeah.
picturing like a cadaver just rocketing through space at like 70,000 miles
So
an hour.
That would be awesome.
Sky burial is on here. There's diamonds. They can make you into diamonds.
Nice.
There's hanging coffins.
Like a bat?
No, like this. It's basically there's a cliff that somebody offers to hang your coffin over the cliff.
Oh, and they just drop it.
Yeah. Here.
Oh, I thought it'd be like suspended in air and just kind of dangle and
is.
people could walk
It is.
by.
There it is,
You can
right
just like
here.
smack it.
Right here.
Oh, that's kind of
yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Imagine like going on a nature trail hike and you just kind of see all these bodies hanging up there. Like,
No.
Or you can make yourself into an ornament.
Oh man, well, staying on this theme of death, obviously the biggest story last week was the death of O.J.
See,
Simpson.
look, firework. You can become a firework.
No, that's pretty cool too.
Same thing as a cannon.
The death of O.J. Simpson. I didn't realize that he was sick. First of all, they said that he announced that he had some kind of sickness back in January. I don't remember this, but I don't know how old you guys are.
I
Well,
feel
know
like
how
he's
old
been
you
sick
are.
since like 1996.
Yeah, or 4, whenever that was. Do you
No,
guys?
he's been living on borrowed time.
Do you? Does the trial and the chase and everything stand out to you, or are you too young for that? Or
I was in elementary school, I want to say 4th or 5th grade, and they actually, I believe it was the day that the jury, I don't remember what day it was, but they actually had us watch the trial on TV in
In
elementary
fourth
school.
grade. Yeah. No, I'm in the
for this
same
murder
exact
trial.
boat. And I
That's
was
how
like,
crazy the 90s was.
Man, the 90s was pretty wheels off when you think
Well,
about some of the events that happened.
Like
there.
I remember because we did that, but it was one of the school I was going to that we had like 7 rooms, and all the teachers went in one room to watch, and they left like no one watched the kids in the other 6 rooms.
Who's
everyone
got
was-
the best grades? Here, you're in charge.
Yeah, and I just remember being alone, and they were like they left the thing on for everybody, but for some reason the teachers want to talk about it, so they all went into just one room.
So that's
and-
the trial. Do you guys remember the chase though? Because that was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
a year and a half earlier, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
Something
on
like that.
TV for
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I was in high school at the time, and I think my parents, for whatever reason, had gone out to dinner and left me behind.
That old.
Dude, it's pretty bad.
Well, I remember
This is what you have to look forward to. Trust me.
What was odd to me, I remember where they announced that he passed away. The Chronicle wrote an article about how it's the chase stole the spotlight from the Rockets winning
That's correct.
the championship.
That's
I'm like,
right. It was the Knicks and the Rockets were in the NBA championship, I think, and OJ doing his thing complete. I think they broke in to the actual game to cover it, or maybe they put like a little square of the game in the corner. But yeah, it was big time news. I remember, like I said, my parents went out to dinner, and I somehow turned the TV on, and I was
How long was
glued
he
to it.
running away? I don't even know. I don't remember this at all.
I think he was trying to go all the way to Mexico, wasn't he?
But I mean, it was a good hour, right? Or
Oh,
it
it
was
went on
longer
for
than
hours.
that.
Slow motion chase went on for hours, and
Yeah.
then he
It was like
drove
4 or 5
His
hours,
buddy
I think.
Al Cowlings, AC Cowlings, whatever, was driving him, drove him to his Brentwood, California home, and then they had some sort of standoff there for a while, and eventually I think he gave himself up because he was supposed to turn himself in, I think at like 10 a.m. that morning, and he didn't, and he officially became, a fugitive, a man on the run, and then of course phone calls of him in the back of that white Bronco. But, it's weird. I don't know if I'm amazed by him or impressed, is how he lived like the last 5 to 7 years of his life, considering
Hey there, Twitter
that
world.
Hey, Twitter world, that whole thing, considering this is a guy who most people believe lopped 2 people's heads off, just lived his life like nothing happened, man. Like, I'm an ordinary dude now, and it was pretty odd. I don't know if I'm admiring that, but it was rather impressive.
Probably found out he had cancer and was just like, screw it.
Yeah, but it's been years, though. It's been
It
years.
takes years sometimes.
Yeah. And then he ended up getting arrested, for, I guess,
Theft or burglary or not burglary, but
kidnapping, too, which was weird. That was part of the charges.
yeah.
And I remember it was odd because I'm like, kidnapping? I thought you actually had to take someone away for it
Yeah.
to be considered kidnapping. And apparently, if you just hold somebody against their will
Yeah.
for a certain length of time, it falls under the category of kidnapping.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, good to think I know that now. Noted.
Is that why he went to jail?
Yeah, aggravated assault, kidnapping, and something else. He ended up doing time for not murdering people.
What was the deal with the sports memorabilia?
He was trying to get his own sports stuff back.
Yeah,
Somebody stole it
It
from
was
him.
like a fraud thing or something. I
Correct.
forget.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy had a wild life. He was great in Naked Gun.
He
Yes.
was huge. So
Norberg.
that got me thinking, though, like, if trying to explain to kids now how big O.J. Simpson was, he was all over the place. Massive athlete in his day, movie star, commercial stars. What would be the equivalent, like today, of somebody committing something like this? I can't even think of
It
it.
would be like if The Rock went off and just did something stupid.
Or like Will
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith is almost.
He's never
already
done
there.
anything stupid though.
Yeah.
No, right? Yeah, I can't think of anything off.
No, I can see that. To me, it
Or
would
the
be-
back of my hand, front
To
of my
me, it would
hand.
have to be The Rock
Yeah, well, he's
or Conor McGregor or something like that. If
oh, like
Conor-
Shaquille O'Neal. Because there you go. He was an athlete. Now he's in
There you go.
commercials and does
Yeah.
some movies, I guess.
But I can see Conor McGregor doing. He's already kind
Chips.
of. Yeah.
There you go. Shazam. I don't know. It was just so massive. I mean, it had the entire world captivated, So, anyways, R.I.P. to O.J.
How
Simpson.
long was the trial? I don't know any of this kind
Oh, it
of
was
stuff.
like 2 years, wasn't it?
No. The trial itself went on for
Because they did like a documentary.
9 months, I think. The trial went on for 9 months.
I was swore it was longer than that.
I was reading about the
Mr.
documentary
Internet
they did,
can look it up.
and they were talking about they interviewed the jury people. This is like today they interviewed them, like what was going on today, and a bunch of them kept saying like, "Yeah, we we knew he was guilty,
Yeah.
but Rodney King got,
Well-
he got killed, and we felt."
Part of it was they said, yeah, we felt he was guilty. However, the evidence that was presented to us
No, this lady,
created beyond a reasonable doubt, or it did not convince us beyond a reasonable doubt. So we had to, and that glove was really what pushed it over the edge too. So it's because that glove was for his son who did it, right? That's one of the other theories. He was covering for his son.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't. You guys aren't familiar with that story?
No,
That's
no.
that's
I'm
pretty
not
fascinating.
I've already said I'm not familiar with this at all. Like I
Okay.
know the white Bronco, and I know somebody like you can buy it.
Yes, actually, someone owns it now, and it's going to go on sale here again, obviously, very soon.
Yeah.
They think it will fetch nearly $1 million.
Does it go more than 30 miles an hour now?
Well, can you buy a white Bronco?
I mean, I'm sure you can.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, because we were talking about this the other day about the that cult that committed suicide. And
The
they all-
Hale-Bopp Comet.
Yeah, and they
Again,
all,
in the 90s.
They all bought the same type of shoes.
Heaven's Gate cult.
You ever heard of that? It's like when a comet was going by, they all killed themselves. But at the time, when they found the bodies, everyone was wearing the same piece of clothing, and everyone had on black Nikes. And apparently,
I
Nike.
vaguely remember that.
And they're like, Nike's like, we're not making these shoes anymore because they're too famous, because it's associated with these 34 people who committed suicide. So I was wondering if that's why the Bronco got discontinued or something like that.
It was only in production until
96 was the last year.
last year, yeah.
Yeah.
Until they brought it back a couple years ago, but of course it looks completely different now.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. So, staying on this theme of death, would you be willing to stay in a hotel room where someone famous died?
Do I get a discount?
No, in fact, you probably have to pay a premium.
I think
for
there's
it.
a tour of that. I feel
There
like
are.
there's a tour.
There's people who go around chasing this kind of stuff, and I was just wondering, would you want to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. To me, that's kind of creepy. I don't understand the joy
I wouldn't
of
want
doing
to
it.
bury my grandfather in the backyard.
I just don't want to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say it is a discount.
Okay, I'm in.
But like famous people, like what do you need to be connected to? Because
I know, I don't
know
get it.
a
I
lot
don't
of
get the
people. That's
connection.
why they want to do it because they feel connected to like Al Capone. and,
Yeah, the
like,
Trail of Tears or whatever. They chase
Yeah.
down these people. Like, for instance, Prince, he died in the elevator. And I believe at Paisley Park, which is now the memorial and museum to him, you go into his house, and I think that elevator is part of the tour. I mean, I wonder if you ride up in it, and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, where you're standing, or if it's kind of just roped off. I don't know.
So you would see Prince? This is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I want to go to Paisley Park. I tried to get tickets last time I was in Minnesota,
So
and I couldn't.
can you
It
see
was-
Elvis Presley's toilet?
I mean, I've been to Graceland. I've been to his house.
Didn't he die on the toilet?
He did, but I don't
That'd be great.
think that
I
area
would
is...
love to take a dump there.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
That is something.
The thing, see, I think they're missing out on a marketing opportunity. You could deuce right where
I would
I
pay.
almost said
I
OJ.
would pay for that.
Yes, exactly. Per,
my God.
per
$25
event.
bucks.
$25 a
With
flush. They would
the
pay.
greatest thing about that is
Oh my
everyone
gosh.
coming out of the restroom would have the biggest smile. They'd be like, "I did it! I can't believe I did it!"
Can you
I'd eat
imagine?
Chipotle that morning
Yeah.
just so I can really take advantage of it.
No, they get the hardcore.
Get your money's worth.
They have the hardcore fans where it's like I have to eat 19 pounds of meat and then I have to
And a chug of coffee.
whatever it was.
And that might be it. You might exceed the time limit. Didn't we? Hold on. We did a story about people who would go in and pay. What was it, like $5 for 3 minutes to use
the golden,
America, the golden toilet,
Yeah, the golden toilet. Yeah,
and then someone stole it?
yeah. That was a kind of a wild story.
Yeah, it was wild.
But I
Oh, my
can't think
God.
of anything else I would want to be connected to with that kind of stuff. I mean,
No, I don't know. I don't see any connection to it either, but I just know that people chase that stuff around. I think the Brentwood home has since been sold, but I believe they tore it down and rebuilt something in its place, his old estate.
okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to use Norm Macdonald's toilet too.
There you go. That was another guy. He
Did he die on the toilet too?
no.
I would just like to use his toilet.
Yeah. As an aside.
I mean, if I had to somewhere nice to take it down.
Is that how you show respect these days?
I think so.
The younger generation is so wild.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so gross. It's great.
you have the pin board in your
That's
living room
great.
of all the places you've gone. Literally.
Are they brown
Well,
pins?
I always thought it'd be funny to get the Astrodome urinals.
I'm sure they sold them,
So
right?
I always
the
thought-
troughs.
The troughs.
Yeah.
I always thought that'd be kind of funny to have at the house, and it's like people got
Better scrub that
the
down.
social look at everybody. Like, well, do we have to share it? I'm like, well, that's what it is, man.
You can get like
Yeah.
Andre Dawson to sign it or something.
Sword
That'd be pretty
fight.
cool.
That'd be pretty. Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
Sword fight.
No, that would be hilarious to get all the Astros.
Across the streams.
Dude, wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? Trying to drive around with his trough in your truck and be like, I'm trying to get all the Astros to sign it.
That's what I'm
And so,
saying.
like,
Just don't slam on the brakes. You
Yeah.
don't want all that sloshing.
Oh,
forward.
yeah. You don't want that.
And they just keep putting ice in it, man. Just keep putting ice in it. That's funny.
Oh, that's greatness. Yeah, just keep more ice.
That was another crazy thing about the 90s, you know. There'd be 30 guys, kids, grown men, just shoulder to shoulder.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's still that way in certain areas, and I don't understand why. Is it really that much? Is it really that you would know? Is it really that much more material cost to put like a little 1 foot, 2 foot piece of material divider in between? Nobody wants to do that. I mean, I do because I have to, but
Yeah, it wouldn't be that much.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, what I love, like I said, I went to the baseball game this weekend, and we were sitting in the lines get kind of bad, and I'm like looking around, I see an open urinal, and I was like, why is anyone taking this? And so I asked the guys, like, hey, are y'all going to take this one? Like, oh, no, we don't want to be by that guy. And I was like, what is that supposed to
Oh
mean?
my God.
And then I realized what it was he was just a big dude. And so, like, his arm was over, like, your flush.
Right. It's kind of like the airplane.
Yes. And I go, well, I got to go. So I literally walked up to the guy, and I was like,
Squeeze in there.
I was like, hey, man, I'm going. I don't care.
Did you touch another man while you used the restroom?
His elbow was right there.
I know.
I hit it with my head. I was like, hey, man, I'm coming in. I'm trying to use the restroom
apparently.
here.
This is so awkward. This is taking a turn.
You want to know what awkward is? In the Marine
scared.
Corps, they have toilets that actually are toilets, shoulder to shoulder, and across from each other in a room that's maybe 6 feet wide. So you are touching knees and staring into the eyes of the
making
guy
eye
taking a dump
contact,
across from you. Absolutely.
Longingly looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
you know.
never took you to that place right there on Airport Road. It's called like Mountain Bar or something like that. And they have a urinal that's really awkward.
Not sure I want to go to a place called Mountain Bar
It's called
with
something.
you.
I forgot what it's called, but
Blue Oyster Bar.
But you go in there, and you're sitting at the urinal, but you don't know to your
Wait,
right.
sitting at the
or
urinal.
Standing, sorry.
We gotta have to have a conversation.
You're standing, and there's a cinder block wall, but it's only up to your hip. And if you look over to your right, you're staring right at the guy using the toilet.
Huh.
Like you can literally bat his head, like, "Hey, buddy."
Room with a view.
Yeah.
I guess we were due to have this conversation. We hadn't talked about Dookie or anything in a couple of months. I'm so proud of us.
Well, we're just talking about.
We did have a streak there for a while where it seemed to come up just about once a show.
Well, change the subject then. You're the one with
A
all
California
the stories.
judge on Monday dismissed one of the many cases brought forth by a man who is suing dozens of women for sharing stories about him in multiple private Facebook groups, including offshoots of the viral quote, "Are we dating the same guy?" I thought you would get a real kick out of this. So I had never heard of these things. Are you familiar with these groups, these Reddit groups, these Facebook groups?
I've heard of them.
Where these women will apparently go on and bash men. And they're typically, I think they started off with good intentions, like, ladies, be careful about this guy. He might be a predator or such and such.
And then the internet happened.
And then the internet happened. And of course, people are now going on to certain Facebook pages and just destroying these men. And this one guy took it to court and sued 50 women, 9 of whom he names in the complaint, saying they conspired to harm his reputation and violate his right to free speech based upon sex and other discriminatory elements.
Did he
Good
win?
for him.
Did he win?
Some of them were thrown out. Yeah. But I think largely.
Well, I mean, that's what happened.
But no, I
to-
think largely he lost though. They dismissed some, but
Well, you just need one.
that's
right?
all it takes.
Well, there is a law regarding carnal knowledge of another person, and you're not allowed to share certain aspects, about that person with other people, and it does kind of fall under the kind of slander, libel side of things as well.
Yeah. But this is, I think, like a Streisand effect, because this was a private Facebook group. But now he goes out and sues, and now here we are sitting in a radio station studio talking about
I have
it. This
no
guy
interest
is
in
named.
checking it out.
Well, no, but the point is now everybody knows that this guy has got over 50 women that are complaining about him. Hey, look, as a guy who's on the dating scene, Dick, I just want you to be aware of these are we dating the same guy
That would be
groups,
hilarious
okay?
if I ended up on there.
That's, yeah.
Because I'd be like,
you
what?
might be.
Make
Who
sure her
knows?
name is Ethel, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched the internet. Well, it says he's delighted for the outcome, so I guess maybe
You just need to win one.
Yeah,
And then he's like, yeah, look, I'm not that bad of a guy.
this says on
I'm still a piece of shit.
stuff, right? It says on Monday, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Gregory, whoever, I don't care, granted one defendant, Vanessa Valdez, an anti-slap motion. This is interesting. A common legal mechanism for dismissing strategic lawsuits against public participation or lawsuits determined to chill the exercise of free expression. I read a lot of words there, and I'm not sure I knew what it meant other than
Is
the
this the
fact
same
that
story?
anti-slap, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not interesting. At
This is
all.
one of the defendants. This is one of the ladies he was suing.
So he gets to slap her?
Anti-slap. And it's a motion. Anti-slap motion.
Wouldn't that be wild? Hey, for all that stuff she's talking smack about you, we're gonna let you
One
get one
smack
slap.
apiece.
One slap.
Wow. Can you just imagine that?
That'd be the weirdest. I would be weirded out if I heard that.
Well, his idea to speed up the judicial system is once a person is deemed guilty of something, the judge pulls out a pistol and puts one right in them. That's what he was saying not too long ago. He's going to shoot him right there.
Well, no. What the
Speed it up.
reason that was brought up was we were talking
Better
about.
not get a parking ticket. Jeez.
No, we were talking
Yeah,
about
true.
the guy who was flying the airplane, and wasn't he on drugs or something?
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
And
sure.
some people died.
Mushrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms.
And some people died.
No, that's right. That's right. No, nobody died. They wrestled him, but he got 87 different counts of attempted murder because there were 87 different people on the airplane, and he tried to crash the airplane. And he said, well, what he should do rather than getting 87 different counts is just have every single person decide whether or not they want to press charges in that manner. And then you took it to the next level of saying,
Yeah.
just shoot the guy right there on spot after he gets, found guilty of something. Just shoot him. Just shoot him. These are vigilante justice.
Well, I mean, I still don't understand that process of people. We still kill people in prison, but it takes like 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You were
I don't
trying to speed
understand
it up.
why that's going on, but
I don't know. Somebody won the $1.3 billion lottery last week in New Jersey. That was crazy. Did you guys hear about that? It was a single
no.
ticket. And it's cool about New Jersey. It's one of those states that allows you to remain anonymous. So this person will probably never know. But it got me thinking about something.
Until they make a TikTok.
Right, about it. Yeah. So this is what my question was going to be. Do you think any one of us in this room could hide the fact that we won the lottery?
Oh yeah, easy.
I'd disappear from Facebook,
That'd be, but then people would know something's up.
but they wouldn't be able to find me.
Well, because the only issue really is the flashiness of it. Like if you go out and
Exactly.
buy a Lamborghini, people are like, "How do you have a Lamborghini?"
That's what I'm
dude?
getting at. Do
How
you
many
think-
homes are you inspecting?
But you just said exactly. But
I
you just
traded
said,
it
"Oh,
for
I
a
could
cutting
easily do it."
board.
yeah, I sold a bedroom set.
I finally charged what I'm worth.
That's right. I worked 4 years
That's
on it. Trust me.
hilarious.
But you said you could do it easily, and I think
I could do it easily.
that the less money you have, the harder it would be to do. Right. So if you're already fairly well off, you might not
I'd just be drunk all the time. That's the only thing that would probably change.
change.
Yeah,
You would just get drunker on like
on Monday. Instead-
just higher dollar liquor.
Yeah.
That's all.
I was like, I just
Go
don't-
from Bellows to Jim or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But see, you can't go top shelf though. That's my point. Is if you're trying to hide it because you don't want people asking you for money, it's going to be difficult to do.
Yeah, get Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, we got.
Middle of the road.
Not the gold.
Now I'll just stick to Canadian Club.
Nasty. I don't know, man. I think it'd be difficult to do because as much as you think it probably doesn't change you, yeah, like you would have, like you said, the nicest of tools,
I would have all the maids.
made ins.
Yeah, the harem.
I move to Saudi Arabia.
My
Is that
house
what
would
you're
be
doing?
so clean.
But no, I mean, I guess I don't really know.
No, you can't move to Saudi Arabia. You'd be middle class there.
That's true. I got $1 billion.
That's it.
Yeah, it's middle of the road there.
Okay.
What's the largest amount of cash you've ever carried on yourself at one period of time?
Cash.
Yeah, money. Folding, not jingling, folding.
I think like $45,000.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say 4,500.
And
I'm
it
like,
wasn't mine.
and I was like, that's how much I've carried. So I think mine's 4,500 because I bought a pickup truck, which I still own, by the way, for $4,500 probably 8 years ago. And that was the largest amount of cash I've ever carried on myself.
I'd have to say probably about 10 grand
Yeah.
because I bought a 4-wheeler or a side-by-side.
There you go. And
Off
this
the
guy's
internet.
this guy's over here 45, 50K.
It wasn't
Heading
my
into the
money.
casino. Oh,
That makes it even worse. What are you doing with somebody else's cash?
I was taking it. to
running
somebody.
away.
Chicken fight. Yeah, running
Yeah.
away. That's exactly right.
I was
Chicken
just
fight. You
looking-
were on
looking
your
for
way.
A cockfight.
Yeah,
just
you
trying
were-
just trying to find one, man.
You were on your way that, or you were going to go gamble on micro wrestling. Well, a recent Go Banking survey of 1,141 American adults found that 23.93, that's awfully specific, of respondents think that the safest place to keep their money is in their home. Which I don't know. I guess so. That's
Till
still
it burns down.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, unless you have like a firebox or whatever. But it said 35% of the respondents say they only have $100 or less in cash at home. Another 30% say they have between $100 and $500, while just over 7% say they have between $500 and $1,000. Whoa.
I got 0.
Yeah, because we're on the air. 0. I ain't got no money in my house, so don't you become looking for it.
Dear IRS, I have no money.
That's right.
I have a bunch of $2 bills.
Oh, that is so dick. $2 bills, huh? What are you doing with two? Actually, I have a bunch of them too.
Did
but-
you just come back from C&D scrap metal?
No,
I guess when you go to the dance bar
All
now,
those beer
inflation.
cans.
It used to be dollar dances. I guess they're $2
No.
dances now.
it was at the bowling
Thanks,
alley.
Biden.
Thanks, Biden.
Oh my god, the bowling alley. Some guy
just too easy.
used $2, and I was like, screw it, I'm not counting this. So I just
Is that still John?
yeah.
Oh, what?
I don't
When's the
know.
last time you saw him? You must have been carrying
I don't
those
know.
dollars in there for.
No, that was one day, and I was like, someone just used $2 for everything they did here.
But
and
you've been carrying that around for a long time, I think.
no.
No? Okay, because I didn't think he was up at that bowling center here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyways, switching subjects.
matter.
Switching subjects abruptly. Oh, did we finish that? Yes, you said 10. I said 4,500, and Dick said 50 grand.
There was a wild
Never mind.
time
Oh,
at
I
one
was going to
point.
ask you if you've ever found anything like in a house, like cash laying around. You're like, oh my.
No.
That's right. Moving on.
Well, he's not inspecting everything.
He's inspecting for cash. I would be.
You'd be surprised where we have to go.
I imagine like pretty much everywhere.
In your closets, under your sinks, in all your cabinets.
That's where all the cash goes.
Pretty much everywhere except for the dresser.
And the
And the
mattress.
nightstands and the mattress. Yeah. I don't touch mattresses.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's where all the cash is.
There's some houses I was really upset that I had to be in there at all.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
What does that mean?
That's probably the condition, hoarders or something.
For sale by owner. They don't get staged by a realtor, and they don't get Febrezed.
Don't have the cookie smell?
Some
Right.
Some
don't-
people don't understand that dogs need to go outside to use the restroom.
Oh, I like it. And then I love how they still get hired you somehow.
Instead of grandpa in the backyard, it's grandpa's in the living room decomposing.
Yeah, I've had to bite my tongue a few times.
Oof. Yeah. I can imagine. I can
It's
imagine.
fun. Okay.
Patty, would you say that you have a high pain tolerance?
Everywhere except for my feet.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, trust me. It
I guess if
sucks.
you're on your feet all the time.
I don't know what it is because I'm always on my feet, but like the slightest little pebble or sticker that you step on, I mean,
You're like the princess and the pea.
I'm pretty much the Patty and the Pea.
Patty and the pea.
Yep.
Yeah, I've often wondered when people say, oh, yeah, I have a high pain tolerance or a low pain tolerance. I think, well, how do you know? Because it seems to me like so relative. There's not like there's some sort of pain index, although we did talk about that sting index a few months ago from insects, which was awesome. I don't think they have something like that for pain. Do you think you have a high pain tolerance? No. Yeah, see, I don't know either. When people
I would
ask me,
say
I'm like,
no because I don't want to test it. How about that? Like I'm not into that. I would do the ant thing though because that's like something cool I could tell people. Where like it's like the hardest sting or these ants that you put your hand in a glove.
yeah, there was a guy who started studying insects back in the 80s. We talked about him a couple weeks ago, so that we would know what insects sting the worst, have the highest, sting rating, I guess. And we would never know unless there was one guy who said, well, I've got to get stung by everything. It was pretty wicked.
And there was some tribe somewhere in some other foreign country that as like a ritual, there's these type of ants that they have locally, and they like scoop them up and put them in like a
The Siafu ants,
is that what it is?
the ones that are
bullet
like
ant.
this big.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a bullet ant. I don't
they're
know.
Like, they're in the glove, so you
But
got.
I like the words you said.
You got to put your hand in the glove, and you got to like hold it in there for like 10 seconds or something, and then prove
you're a man.
you're a man.
What'd you say, Snafalafu? What'd you say?
Siafu.
Siafu.
Sanafalafo.
Yeah,
They're actually really cool.
until they bite you.
They will. The soldier ants will form kind of like a barrier, and all the worker ants will follow this channel, and they'll hold their mandibles up in the air and their antenna up in the air to look out for trouble. But I mean, they're the size of a giant cockroach pretty much, and they've got big pincher jaws on them that they've eaten people's children and cattle.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, if they swarm enough. I thought you
Yeah.
meant one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wicked.
It happened in Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, I think it did actually.
Ants?
Yeah, it was bugs of some sort.
It was
Was it
ants.
Was it ants?
It was so stupid.
Yeah, I know
Which
when you go
Indiana
back.
Jones was this?
Crystal Skull.
Oh, well, that explains it. I didn't make it past the refrigerator scene.
That was the best scene.
Oh God.
Because you're like, where are we going with this movie?
Yeah, the newer ones weren't as good. And this last one, I don't think anybody went and saw it. I know I didn't see this
It was
last one.
They made
terrible.
another one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dial of Destiny. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
Probably November-ish time, October,
And they had
November
great
time.
actors in it too.
take a page from Ghostbusters and learn that you made a mistake and go back to what worked in the past.
Or just not make anymore. There is always that.
Yeah, that's always a
There
great,
is always that,
yeah, don't
if that's an
ruin
option.
our childhood.
Yeah, they're slowly ruining it. Well, anyways, I thought this was pretty interesting about pain. I looked it up because, again, when people ask me that, I don't really know what to say. I'm like, I don't know if I have a high pain tolerance or not. But it says when you feel pain, nearby nerves send signals to your brain through your spinal cord. Duh. Your brain interprets the signal as a sign of pain, which can set off protective reflexes. For example, you touch something very hot, your brain receives the signal inducing pain. This can turn you, obviously, to pull your hand away pretty quickly. But the different things that affect your pain tolerance, they say, is 1, genetics. Okay. 2, age, that people who are older actually report higher pain tolerances than young folks. So you two.
High mileage.
Yeah, maybe so. That or just the nerve endings are wearing out, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. It says more research is needed to understand why. This says sex.
More beating on old people.
Just a test. Somebody's got to test it out. This says sex, but no, not that sex. It's actually gender. For unknown reasons, females report longer lasting and more severe pain levels than males do. So I don't understand that sentence. Does that mean they have a higher pain tolerance or a lower pain tolerance?
Pretty sure they're referring to childbirth.
I mean, you would think, right? That's got to be.
That's what they always tell us.
Right. Longer lasting and more severe pain levels.
But they've never had a man cold, so how do they know?
They are severe. Yes, they are severe.
Still haven't recovered from mine.
Every day.
Yeah.
You go to counseling?
It says chronic illness, too. Over time, chronic illness such as migraines or fibromyalgia can change your pain tolerance, mental illness, stress, social isolation, and past experiences. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, who do you think it actually has to endure pain for a living?
Radio show hosts.
Radio show guests.
Yeah, so I can tell he's in pain right now because these are terrible articles. So.
Okay, how about this? A woman who didn't get raptured demands a refund for her generous tips. I absolutely love this story.
Wait, what?
I like where this is going.
Yes, this is amazing. So apparently there's a woman who went into a restaurant the day of the eclipse or right before the eclipse and gave one of the waiters $300 tip and the other one a $777. She wrote on one of the receipts, "In case you don't rise on the 8th."
Guess
Is that a
what?
threat?
Well, no, she thought that she was associating the eclipse from last week with the rapture, and she was so certain that the rapture was coming, she was going to be taken up to heaven when the moon got in front of the sun, that she didn't need that money. So she was giving people large tips just in case they aren't.
And now rent's due next week.
And now that the 9th came along and she's still here, she's gone back to the restaurant and asked for a refund. I find this hilarious. So now, think about
Can
this.
you even get a refund from a tip?
I don't believe that you can.
That
no.
money is already an aftermarket stereo in somebody's Honda.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But can you imagine the conversation? So, I was in your restaurant last week and this weird thing happened.
Well, the tip.
Feeling
I mean,
generous.
the tip thing is weird because I would never ask for a tip back. But if
when
I
you
like,
when you gave over $1,000 and that's all you had.
but if you bought like thousands and thousands of dollars of wine or something, it's like I want to return this wine.
Sure.
I'd be like, ask your pastor for the money back.
I want to know what that guy did to deserve twice as much as the other one. One $770 and the other was 300 and something. It was the service
you know.
establishment.
I
Right?
think you know.
You're exactly right. It says, unfortunately, given the April 8th has now come and gone with no rapture in sight, the woman has returned to the restaurant and tried arguing her tips were fraudulent and had been tampered with in an attempt to get her money back.
I believe her.
Yeah. Poor thing, no?
What would be great is women. No, what would be great though is that everyone convinces her that she was taken.
Yeah, you're
It's
in
like,
heaven right now.
Yeah, you're in heaven right now.
What are you talking
Wait, do you
about?
hear something?
Yeah, it's like
Just completely ignore.
Look, I'm no biblical scholar. You're probably the closest one here to it.
sure.
But doesn't the Bible say something like we won't know the time or day that this is going to occur? And she's like, oh,
Well,
wait, here's an event that everyone literally knows about, and this
it's
is
one
going
of
to
those
happen.
things that like it's mentioned several times, so you can interpret it different ways. And the interpretation is what killed most of the cool stuff about the Bible. So no one really knows.
Okay. All right. I thought that was fairly clear. But something like an eclipse, though, happens every couple of years. It just so happens this time it took right across the heart of the Midland of the United States.
But now that it's in Texas, it's a big deal.
Right now it's real.
Think about those-
I didn't believe them East
Think about
Coast
those
eclipses.
weirdos who thought their soul
That wasn't a real eclipse.
their soul literally had to hitch a ride on a meteor. That's what they thought.
It was the Nikes, dude. It was the Nikes.
But I mean, like, not that
Those
they're
black Nikes.
not that their soul's going to go to space. No, we have to do it at a certain time because the comet's going right by, and we have to be slingshotted at us. Like, there's only one chance to get on this thing.
If it was the soles of our shoes and not our bodies? And that's what the black
no.
Nikes was all about. And the rapture already happened.
Patty has a good point.
And there's a reason why Nike won't make them again.
Yeah, because they're gone.
Yeah,
They've left
that's
this
all,
earth.
No, that's the only way to get back is you have to buy those shoes. So you got to find a dead dude's shoes and put them on.
I'm so confused.
Do you think they're still wearable now?
I hope so.
They might have decomposed a bit.
Oh yeah, I actually had that happen to me. I kept an old pair of Jordans from when I was a kid, and I went back. Now it's been 20 years.
Buried
Went
them?
back. No, I went in my closet and opened the shoebox up, and they had disintegrated to the point where the sole came off the top, and
Should have got the mothballs.
should something. They probably needed to be in some sort of hermetically sealed case or something, and I'm not in just a regular shoebox in my
Or
closet.
don't save Nikes. Who cares? Like,
Well, I mean, they were Jordans,
Look,
bro.
some
Original
kid in
88.
China slaved away for
Yeah.
hours making those shoes.
Again, good point.
respect.
That's exactly right. I was respecting the art,
Respect.
the child's art. Patty, do you want to reset and give a little bit of who you are again?
Well, yes, absolutely. I would love to.
I was going to try and do that again before the 55 mark while we were still on the air, and I think we
We're
missed
already
it.
past it.
Yeah,
We're way
dang,
past
I
it.
meant to do that, and we were probably talking about something stupid
Well,
like pain
we put your
tolerance.
stuff on the description, so people want to see your woodworking. It's on Instagram. We also have your inspection stuff from Facebook, so if they want to hire you, they can just contact you via Facebook.
Yes, yeah, that works.
Okay.
That works for me. I like to keep it all kind of in one place, so it's easier for me to keep track of
Yeah,
everything. 'cause
100%.
I'm kind of spread around a bit.
Yeah, I don't know how you have time to do it all, to be honest with
We
you.
never even talked about the foundation repair.
See, sir? Got it covered from top to bottom. And
Yeah.
everything in between.
And we'll see you on I Love Conroe, hopefully.
Yeah,
Once he's allowed
April
back on.
16th, I think, is when I'm off my
Off probation.
off my grounding.
Do you keep notes of how many groundings you get and like what they were
I'm
for?
sure they do. I feel like they have a chart of me. Let's see. April 19th is when I'm allowed to, participate again in the group.
Okay, this week.
So
This
you guys
week.
are just going to have to do without for a
I
while,
don't want
I guess.
to. I'm excited to see what your welcome back posts will be.
I'm kind of lurking a bit with my other profiles,
Ah.
but if you ever see a Richard Queso on there, I'll let your brain figure that one out.
I like it.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah, that's me. Usually poking the bear a little bit while I'm in timeout.
Well, there you go. Well, anything else you want to say, Andrew?
I like Richard Queso. That's hilarious. Well, no, I don't like Richard Queso. I like that as a pseudonym. No, I had one more story here about eating uranium, but I don't think we need to cover it. I think that's all we
Okay.
got for this week, man. It's been a great show, as always. And thank you, Patty O Furniture, for joining us here on the Audience of One show for our madness once a week.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Absolutely.